Welcome to this episode of Boss Lady Chronicles, which is a collaboration between World Speech Day Women and the International Women's Federation of Commerce and Industry, South Africa, in anticipation of the Global Women's Trade Summit taking place in Johannesburg this August. I have the privilege of speaking to two phenomenal women who have been central to shaping the formation of World Speech Day Women with me. You ladies may not realize this, but we are actually approaching 5 years since we started out supporting each other in each other's respective efforts to promote communication, advocacy, and women's empowerment since the beginning of COVID. In fact, it is because of those efforts and initiatives with numerous women across the globe that WSD Women was born, more specifically through the World Speech Day Generation Equality podcast series. Of course, we are extremely grateful to Simon Gibson, the founder of World Speech Day, for his leadership and his ongoing support and encouragement in all of our efforts. Today, we are collaborating for change, and we are doing this through AI, communication, and women's empowerment. Speaking to the topic of the Value Impact Alliance Initiative, which is an initiative being embarked on by the three of us and hopefully will draw many more participants over time. We have Rhonda Bowen, who is an American living in Germany for the past 30 years and who is also the founder and CEO of Bell's Communication. And we have Professor Saida Belouali, a professor in applied ethics at the Mohammed Premier University in Morocco. Rhonda, let's begin with you.
Well, thank you very much, Vino. I am very, very honored and pleased to be here today in such a wonderful group. And the part that I'm bringing to our alliance when we spoke a while ago and said, what is it that brings us together and gives us the opportunity to do things in a way that is unique to the three of us, but would also give others the chance to join. And the number 3 is so important to me because the projects that I've been doing, I've had my own business for over 35 years, but now I'm starting on a new venture. And what I want to do is form a platform where the 3 kinds of intelligences work together to make sure that the world becomes a better place. So I'm sure if you've been awake anywhere in the world recently, all you've heard is artificial intelligence, but let's go back to where intelligence started. Intelligence started in nature. If you look at plants or you look at animals and you look at the way they interact and the way they communicate with each other and the way they communicate with us, it's interesting to see that there's a kind of natural intelligence that's in our world and all around us all the time, but maybe we don't really pay as much attention to it as we should. That moves into what we know because it's part of our own nature, and that's human intelligence. It's what we bring to the equation, that the things that we as people do and the way that we interact and communicate. Communication is my field of interest. The way we make sure that we talk to each other and with each other about the things that are important to us. And now growing out of that is artificial intelligence, the thing that is helping us to go beyond just what we can do as each individual human and combine everything that happens in nature and in humanity to bring it together and to give us new opportunities. So being intelligent is something that can happen in different ways, but of course, as we all know, it's not good enough just to be intelligent using whatever means, but we have to make sure that those intelligences are being used in a way that is good for the world. And especially with things about AI now, we're also looking at ethics. And since that is what Saida is such an expert in, I'm going to pass the word over to Saida for her to explain about what she's doing in ethics and especially how that works with AI.
Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, Vino, for the invitation. Yes, I think we need ethics to frame the different intelligences, especially intelligence in action. In the other hand, I think that ethics is precisely the means of framing intelligence in action. And as we know, ethics is not about right and wrong, it's about how we have to act. It's about what is the best thing to do. It's about making a choice, but making a choice to act. So we have to question the situation, to evaluate the context, and to make the decision with the least negative impact for oneself, others, and society. In the line with Paul Ricoeur, ethics is the search for a good life for oneself in what he calls just institutions. So this is why in AI ethics we should take into account the notions of impact, relationship, and environment. I have to highlight another point here, which means that ethics is deliberation. Also, it's an appreciation of what is happening and how we are going to take our decisions by taking into account all the elements that are in our possessions. In the other hand, we have to know that we take decisions with taking into account values and principles, and we know that values and principles are cultural. It's why we need an adaptation at the semantic level. We have to be sure that when we are talking about the main international global subjects, we are talking about the same thing. For example, what does mean privacy in China, in Morocco, in France, etc., etc. Adaptation in this file is necessary.
Thank you so much for sharing the importance of ethical AI in achieving the objectives, which brings me to World Speech Day Women and how we believe the initiative aligns with the goals of World Speech Day Women. World Speech Day Women can effectively bring advocacy and AI together in several impactful ways. Firstly, through empowering voices through AI. AI-powered speech platforms is one way. We can utilize AI-driven platforms to amplify women's voices. AI can help transcribe, translate, and disseminate speeches globally, breaking language barriers and increasing accessibility. We could even use voice recognition and personalization by developing AI systems that recognize and adapt to diverse female voices. We can then help ensure a personalized and accurate representation in digital communications. By applying AI to social media and other platforms to gauge public sentiment on women's issues, and in that way we will allow for a more responsive and targeted advocacy campaigns that are being put into place. It can assist with educational initiatives, AI in education. We can implement AI tools in educational programs to provide learning experiences about women's rights and advocacy, making education more inclusive and effective. And through virtual mentoring, we can use AI to connect young women with mentors worldwide, providing guidance and support through virtual platforms. And very importantly, and this is what WSD Women is very much about, it's to raise awareness. Using AI-generated content, we can leverage AI to create and disseminate content such as articles, videos, and social media posts that highlight women's achievements and ongoing challenges. We can use interactive campaigns by developing AI-driven interactive campaigns that engage public, educate them on women's issues, and mobilize support. AI can give us the support and resources we need. We do this by using AI to optimize the distribution of resources to women's organizations, ensuring that aid reaches the most impactful areas. And public advocacy. We can use AI-powered networks that connect advocates, researchers, and policymakers to facilitate collaboration as well as the sharing of best practices. We can address biases and discrimination by advocating for the development of AI systems that are inclusive, ensuring fair treatment and opportunities for women. And last but not least, by amplifying grassroots movements, global collaboration, facilitate global collaboration amongst women advocates through AI-driven platforms that support knowledge and sharing as well as joint initiatives. So by integrating AI with advocacy efforts, World Speech Day Women can enhance the reach, effectiveness, and impact of our initiatives, driving meaningful change for women worldwide. So ladies, this brings me to us and our future plans with regard to the initiative. We have plans for collaborative opportunities. This episode today is meant to be a kickstart to our efforts in the year to come in terms of how we see this playing out through several initiatives. Rhonda, perhaps you would like to take us through some of it?
Yes, we are looking at a number of things, but the most important thing I think we need to say today is that any kind of an alliance is a group of people who work together because they have common interests and they want to achieve some kind of success. And if you see the fact that we're talking about value impact alliance, value, Saida said so much about that. What is valuable to each of us is very different. It has something to do with our own personal ideas. It has also something to do with our culture, but it also has something to do with what we want to be putting out into the world together as a group. And that's why values together can make such an impact, can have such an effect on other people. And the whole point is three of us having a way to start this and calling it the VIA, the Value Impact Alliance, is a wonderful thing to get started, but it's certainly not enough. If we want to advocate for what's important, if we want to use all the kinds of intelligence, if we want to make sure that what's happening, especially in AI, is ethical and moving the world forward, we need you to join us. And we also need to know that it's important for us to find out what it is you're interested in. We would love your comments that wherever you can leave them somewhere near this video, because the important thing now is this is just the start. If you think of putting the stone in the water, it's the ripple effect. We're really looking forward to your input and for you to give us an idea of what else you think would fit well in a Value Impact Alliance. Thank you so much for being with us today and giving us the opportunity to get this conversation started with you. Thank you.
Ladies, thank you so much for taking the time to have this discussion today. I look forward to all that we plan to do in the months to come, starting off at the Global Women's Trade Summit next month and hopefully culminating during World Speech Day's 10th anniversary global convention, which is being hosted by World Speech Day South Africa. So thank you very much. I look forward to seeing how this unfolds and grows as in the months to come.